if nobody is having any questions, so then basically what we do is, let me just go quickly and go open AWS session here, and then show you how you create the, let's go to the IAM. So if you look at this screen, right? So these are all the services where it's listed under compute, blockchain, security and identity compliance, all these storage services. So there are more number of services, as I told you, like 160 plus services. And now I go to IAM, Identity and Access Management, and where I can create basically a users, right? So if I go ahead and click on users, I have certain users called as Adi and Chris. And what I do is basically I go here and assign them with certain roles. So what we can do is, so if users, we can assign each user a particular role. So what we do is we go ahead and create a group called as this group, and we create this group, we assign this group a certain permission. So I want to assign S3 full access to this particular user. So we assign this full access so that this group can be used, can access S3 completely, and it has admin access. So it has, if you see here, this group is going to have only these two users. So in the other case, where I mentioned, right? So in the other screen, what I said here, quickly I go and show you quickly one setup where I just want to show you here. If you see here about identity and access management users, right? So here in this slide, what I'm trying to show you is there are, for each user, instead of assigning and giving access to S3 bucket, what we do is we create, so for each user, you need to give access separately to the this S3 bucket storage. Instead, what we do is we go ahead and create a group called dev, or here I created as project_AB, and I assign this S3 access and assign these three users to this group. So that's how I created in this particular. So here I have assigned these two users to one group, and this group is basically having S3 full access, right? And it has admin access also. But if you want to say, okay, I have a EC2 instance. Now this EC2 instance should have access to S3 bucket. Then basically what I do is I need to provide this EC2 instance using this a role. So policies cannot be attached to services. So we can't assign this S3 policy to EC2 directly. Policies must be assigned to roles, and roles will be attached to services. So what we do is we create an EC2 role. So if you see here, I created a EC2 role and assigned this EC2 role to S3 access so that this EC2 can access successfully this S3 bucket. So that's how we set up the users. And the other thing which I want to go over quickly here is we can set up EC2 instance. Basically how we do it is we just create, we go here and we then basically go and see the running instances. And if you don't have any instance, if I have created one instance, then we basically create a launch an instance to create this EC2 instance, and we select AMI, which is nothing but Amazon Machine Image, and then we just select this, and it is giving you all this information. So there's a lot of documentation. If you go to support, and if you click on this documentation tab, so it will give you all the documentation about EC2. So I don't want to go over this documentation because you can go ahead and read here, but I just want to give you an use case, right? So here you can go through everything. So you basically go here, select this free tier application, and then basically review it and launch it. So once you say launch, so what we do is it will ask you for key pair. So this key pair is required to access the EC2 instance. I'll launch this instance. So once I launch this instance, this EC2 will be created. And if you see, it is asking you to go into view EC2 instance. So this is still pending status, means it is creating it. For now, I'll just go ahead and connect this EC2 instance using git bash. And what I'll do is I'll just go here and open, and I'll try to connect to this running instance. So right now I'm in C folder desktop, Now what I'll do is I'll try to connect using connect to this particular EC2 instance. If I have to do that, I'll just select here and say connect. Then it will give you this particular string, and I'll just go ahead and copy that and then paste it here, and I'll paste it here, and then I'll be able to connect to this particular EC2 instance, which is already active and running. So I'm connecting to this EC2 instance for now. So if you see here, I'm in EC2 user. So if I want to just say find out what files you have, so there are no folders or files. These are all default files we have. So this is how we connect to the EC2 instance. Quickly, I'll show you how do we create the RDS service. So RDS meaning it's basically our RDS is nothing but it's a database service, right? So this one. So how you connect this, how you create this RDS. So if you go to the RDS service, then go ahead and see you will have an option. You'll have an option to create a database with your. So if I go to database instance and I say create database, and then I'm going to get these options here. So if you see here, there is Amazon Aurora, MySQL, MariaDB, PostgreSQL, Oracle, Microsoft SQL. I'll select here SQL Server, and then I'll basically select the free tier version, and then I'm going to go and select the free tier version, and then I'm going to give a name to my database. I'll say MyDB at the end, and then I'll say admin user, and I'll give credentials to admin. I'll give password 1234, and I'll say nothing. And here, once we are trying to create it, we need to give some information like public, or so that you need to access the database using public service. So what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and try to say create this RDS database. So create the database. That's it. So it is going to give me. This one is still creating. If you see the status here. So what I'll do is I have created one more RDS here just to show you quickly. Then what we do is we take this endpoint here, and then we can basically copy this endpoint, and we go to the SQL Server interface and try to connect it, and we place it here and comma 1433, and then use SQL Server authentication and say admin and admin 1234, and then connect it. It will connect to that particular SQL Server. So that is what I just want to show you quickly as a demo, and we have other things also planned, but due to the time constraint,